Welcome aboard, and thank you for tuning in to the Heavy Metal Chuckers. We are your hosts. I am Dobby, and this is Doppler. So, in this video, we will be going over the recent release from Static X, Project Regeneration Volume 2. Because don't remember if we had been doing this with the others that we recently did, but how did you discover Static?
Long time ago. Probably when most people did when Push It came out, which was what? It was around 2000-ish.
1999.
99. Pretty good
think.
guess. Somewhere around there, yeah. So I discovered them then.
That was their first record.
Yeah, well, that was also probably their biggest hit, or actually, I would say probably it is.
It was because that's the main one everyone fucking knows.
Yeah. Well, then that would make it their biggest hit. So yes. So, and of course, I love that. And they had another song too.
There was Blood for Days.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh. I'm with Stupid.
No. Oh, no, I do know that one. But that's not the one I was thinking of.
Can you describe the one you're thinking of?
I feel like it had a state name in it.
Wisconsin Death Trip?
Yes, that one.
The name of the fucking album?
Oh, is that the whole album?
That's the name of the album.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's why I know that then. Okay.
That's the name of their first record.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains a whole lot then. I thought it was a song. That's the album. There you go. Woo!
It is a song, but yes, that's the name of the album.
Oh, okay. That explains a whole lot. You're talking about something that was 25 years ago. God damn. I feel really old now.
Let's just move on so we can get our ages out of perspective here.
But anyway, so yeah, that's when I discovered them. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't heavily kept up with them. I've probably, since that album, I've probably heard 3 songs from them.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I guess after Wayne passed away, may he rest in peace, all these years later still.
Mm-hmm.
It
God damn it, Tara.
I don't know. I guess I lost interest at that point because I was like, it's not going to be the same.
Well, because they kind of didn't do anything afterwards.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
And it was Tony that kind of brought everything back from the depths.
Yeah.
Which there was a lot said about that I'm not going to go into.
Yeah, and then they brought the one singer in, which I wasn't a huge fan of his, which I think was probably why I just...
Oh, Zero.
No, Zero's fine. Didn't they have one before him?
I thought they had completely stopped after Wayne died.
Let's see here. One way to find out.
Indeed.
Lovely Google.
Yeah, because I thought they just dropped off the face of the earth up until Tony decided to pull everything back up from the grave and brought in Zero from Dope. Which I know this, I can't think of the Dope's vocalist now.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Now, I will say, if they were going to replace Wayne,
They picked
did a
the
good-
perfect
yeah,
guy.
he doesn't sound exactly like Wayne, of
He
course.
sounds damn
But
close enough.
He's close, yeah.
He's damn close enough, and his jet and like the body language, damn
Yeah.
mirrors
Yeah,
Wayne.
it does. And so anyway, but like the Regeneration 2 or 1 or whatever, I didn't listen to any of that, so I don't know a single song off.
I didn't listen to one either, to be honest.
But this one we did. I remember when you first started talking about us doing this, you called it Project Revolution, and I laughed at you.
I know. I'm like, wait,
that's
that was
a
Linkin
Park concert series thing. All right, so when did you get into Static X, sir?
So it's gonna kind of be funny. I actually didn't get in them till years later. And you're okay. This is a nod to everyone that played Need for Speed Most Wanted. The opening track was Skinny Man from Static X, and whenever I was driving, it was the main track that I enjoyed, which I think Disturbed's Decadence was playing there as well, which actually I want to say... Let me check the track list for Underground too, because I want to say they were appeared there as well. No, that's Mudvayne and Scrimgeour I'm thinking about. I'd heard Skinny Man and absolutely loved it, and just would get pumped by it. So it was after that, which I may have actually heard Static before then, but didn't realize who it was I was listening to. But afterwards is whenever I got into Static, and I was just really enjoying what I was hearing, just because it was a hell of a lot heavier than most of the stuff I was listening to at the time. But yeah, and back in high school and probably around, it was whenever I was a junior or senior, and there was another dude that I took one of my classes with, which he was a big Static fan as well, so we were able to enjoy that stuff as well during class, or at least talk about it. But, and that actually, wait, when did Wayne pass? 2014?
2014, yeah.
Okay, no, so Wayne hadn't died yet. No, it was, I remember we had talked about Ronnie, whenever Ronnie had died, Dio.
Yep.
And we talked about that a lot. But anyways, so, yeah, and then I got on the Wisconsin Death Trip, and I'm like, damn, this is fucking cool. And years about, they came out with some albums I've noticed, and then we did this occurred, and you go.
Yeah. So Static X has a very unique sound, I think.
They are industrial metal.
Yes.
Anyone who tries to be industrial metal, they are going off of Static. And I will conclude this, not to diverge too far, but Kitty's track Brackish that they weren't even gonna put on the fucking record.
Yeah.
I think she was a bassist or guitarist at the time. I can't remember what her name was now, but the one that does a lot of the really fast, harsh vocals while Morgan is singing, she said that she got inspiration to do that from Static.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, the only other band that's even remotely close sound-wise to them would probably be Power Man 5000.
Yes, and they only had like one hit wonder to me.
Yeah, When Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anywho, they're still around though, and actually, it's not uncommon to see them play together either. Which, for those of you that don't know, the lead vocalist for Power Man 5000 is Rob Zombie's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. But anyway, so this album, it's got a lot of songs on it. Mind you, they are all fairly short. I think the longest song is what? Not even 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's one that is exactly 4 minutes. This was an interesting album for me when I was going through listening to it, because I haven't had an album do this yet. There wasn't a single song that I absolutely loved, but there wasn't a single song I didn't like either.
So you held content throughout the entire fucking
The
record?
entire album was just okay or decent.
Balanced.
Yeah, like literally every song all the way down. Like I said, I didn't fall in love with any of them, but I didn't dislike any of them either.
That's funny.
Like, this would be a perfect album. If I need some background noise when I'm doing something, this would be perfect.
Well, shit, like, majority of Static X is that. It's something that gets you grooving, but also, like, you can just file your taxes or do whatever
Yeah,
you're
like,
doing.
It would be perfect for something in the background. You know, and for me, I found that very interesting, because every album that we've listened to, there's been songs that I've really loved and songs I really didn't like. And that didn't happen with this one, which I found very interesting. So it's like a knock and a compliment all at the same time.
Well done, Static.
Yeah. Not easy to do. You know, now, I mean, there were songs that maybe I liked the hair better than the other ones. But in terms of, like, really standing out, no. Which would probably be, like, the first song, Black Star. Zombie was alright. But, yeah, everything else was just, like if I sit here and I tried to sit here and tell you what each song was about, or I probably couldn't do it. Because literally everything, like was at the same level, just about all the way through.
They were consistent.
Yeah, they were.
Mostly.
Yeah. So I had a hard time scoring this, because there's albums that we've listened to that were just or didn't care for. That, you know, the lowest score I've given is a 6, which I think I've only given that to 2 albums. So I know I had to go higher than that. So for me, it falls between a 6.5 and a 7. You know, like if
if you feel we can start doing like quarters.
Yeah. So if I
Three
did, it'd be
quarters.
6.75. So like I think for me, there's 3 albums for sure that we've listened to that I disliked more than this one. That was the Cannibal Corpse album, with Something Holocaust.
That surprised me.
The other one was Liliacs Madness, and the last one was In This Moment God Mode.
That was an odd album.
Yeah, those 3. Those are the only 3 albums that we've listened to that I didn't care for. And if I went back to rescore them, they probably would have gotten lower than a 6 if I'm being honest.
Probably.
But this was definitely better than those because, like I said, there wasn't anything bad on it, but there was nothing that I loved either that would have put it up into the 7s or 8s, So that's why if I did a quarter, it'd be 6.75 for me.
I think we're gonna have to start doing that because even like the half scale is a little bit constricting.
Yeah.
For me, the entire way through, I would not lean on that because I don't know how stable it is.
I wasn't really putting much weight, but
It looks, but then again, you don't put much
yeah,
weight
you
in it.
don't
Looks.
have
This album, oh buddy, for me, it was like a reimagined Wisconsin Death Trap. I loved almost every aspect of this thing. Zombie definitely brought me back to Wisconsin Death Trip, like whenever I first heard it.
Yeah.
And
like when I listened to it, that was the one song that sounded the most like their old stuff.
now, what I'm surprised you did not say, and maybe this was just me, on Black Star, I could have fucking sworn I heard Jonathan Davis on it.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like, there was the vocal style that, like, I swear Jonathan Davis was on it, or Zero was just doing that good of an impression.
His other band, Dope, they're a new metal band, so I guess I could maybe see that why you would feel that.
Yeah, but like, even though it doesn't say it, I'm like, I would have been really surprised if Jonathan hadn't done guest vocals on there. And Kamikaze was fucking fun for me. Rest, kind of just solid groove. Dark Place, I didn't like that. It felt odd. It was almost awkward because majority of the time for Static, at least the rhythm of it, or like the drums and guitars are so in sync and like what kind of rhythm they're doing. Dark Place was very just like a consistency that was like they didn't have any kind of thing that got you moving. It was just a track, and there wasn't really much electronic work on it either. It felt like a very odd one for them. Disco at Seago was fucking cool because they used the same
yeah, I remember that one. That one, if I had to name a third one, it probably would. Because I was just thinking that when you were talking about Dark Place.
Yeah, Disco at Seago was one where they used the same sound sample that they did in I'm With Stupid. And I'm like, I kept on hearing Bright Red My Shovel, and I'm like, what? They reused it? Wow. And it was still just fucking good. And throughout the whole thing, I was loving it because one thing that you can count on Static to do is to never castrate the low end or the bass.
No, they don't.
They don't, and I love them for it because that is heavy for me. And bass is how you make metal heavy. And I wish people would fucking understand this. It's not the guitars, it's the bass. And not to be a bass head or anything, but like it was just, oh god, I was loving at least the first half of this album, and then about halfway through it could get a little not stagnant, but it got linear, and I enjoyed it. And then Dark Place came on, and I just didn't care for it. And then Disco at Seago came up, and I was back to the groove, and then it ended. So. But my whole idea behind this record is, again, it is a reimagined, not modern take, but it is a different look, I'll say, on Wisconsin Death Trip, because it held that vibe for me throughout the entire thing. And because of that, I have to give this 8 1/4.
Yeah, they definitely stay true to the sound they've had forever.
Yeah, and I love that about them because that's one thing I don't like about groups that want to either mature or they want to change their sound, which if they want to do that, fine. They're doing it for them and their audience, but most of the time whenever they do that, it turns into something I hate and I just don't care for. But they have stuck true to what they know and what they can do, and I enjoyed it. Again, Jake Boy, that was one that, like, just after Zombie, I'm like, God, this feels so much like their first album. I'm just loving it. But yeah, like, I'd struggled between 8 and 8.5, so I got to go with 8.25 on this one. It was a fucking stellar album, and I could easily see myself getting it. But yeah, that was my take on it.
Sounds good.
All right, well, we will leave you off with that, and until next time, guys, keep rolling heavy. I said that way because I'm straight.